the sale of supersized sugary drinks at movies, at sports events. No supersized drinks allowed. And the reason, and it's going to kind of talk about in the text.
What about supersized water bottle? Like a water bottle like
I think this is based on sugary drinks because sugary drinks have something in them that make them unhealthy. Turn and talk. What is it that inside?
Carbohydrates. Sodium. Sodium.
Say back to me. Nick, you kind of hit it on the nail there. What is it?
Carbohydrates.
Carbohydrates. Well, where do the carbohydrates come from in a sugary drink like Coke or Mountain Dew? The sugar. All sugars have carbohydrates. And when our bodies take them in, our bodies will start loading all those carbohydrates on, and it builds up the calories. And so if you drink too much and you eat too much, you end up unhealthy and maybe even with obesity. And if you look in that bottom corner there, you'll see that word obesity. Obesity is a condition in which a person's weight is much greater than what is considered healthy. And so we already know now that the article is kind of going to address this issue with how can sugary drinks cause people to be so overweight that it's actually dangerous for their health. And as we continue through this article, it's going to make a couple suggestions. And one suggestion is that sugary drinks should be drank with, in that bottom word there, moderation.
Slowly.
Moderation means within a reasonable limit.
Or amount.
So when we talk about, should we just play all day? I know you want to play all day, but should you? Is it good for you?
Yes.
Actually,
Is it good for your mind?
If you're overweight,
Yes.
it
Miss
can.
Dad,
It can be.
what they're eating is all like fatty food, like fries and
That kid
burgers
doesn't have a
and
supersized
sodas.
drink.
Yeah, I like how Eli was paying attention to the text features. He was looking over here at this illustration, and what he noticed was, but they're eating unhealthy food. And then Aiden said, yeah, but she is drinking a supersized drink. And this boy right here is drinking a smaller drink. Now, I know that you have an opinion yourself about should we
I say
or
ban
shouldn't.
supersized drinks.
Our job today is not to announce to the world what our opinion is. You are welcome to write a debate article to follow up on this in your writing class. Our job today is to consider what about this article makes it a 1 on the bias meter. And so as we read, I'm going to highlight some areas in the text, and I want you to follow along with me. And I need your help kind of labeling what that is, because I want to put it in a language that you're going to be able to look at and know immediately that's what this means, and that when you read in your future readings, in your informational text, you'll be able to evaluate. You'll be able to evaluate each piece for bias. So right away I'm already thinking there's two sides. Yes, there should be a ban, or no, there shouldn't be a ban. I'm just looking to see which sides, because I know a 5 doesn't consider the other side. I'm going to be looking out in this article to see, do they consider both sides? I know a 5 doesn't use examples. So a 1 should use lots of examples, so I'm going to be looking for that. I know a 5 uses hyperboles, extreme exaggerations. When I'm looking here, I'm going to expect that I don't find any hyperboles. I don't expect to see contradictions. I've already told you this is a 1. But if I didn't, that's kind of what we would be looking at. So these, I'm looking for the opposite of what a 5 is. Yes, Aiden?
Are they just going to ban the supersized soft drinks, or
sugar drinks in New York are they gonna ban them?
I love how you're asking questions before we've even started reading because you're getting your mind ready for the information. And I'm going to wait to try to answer your question because it may be answered in the text. And that's what good readers do. They ask before they even start reading, and now you know you're looking for some things as well. New York City takes a tough stance against selling extra large sugary drinks. People in New York City will soon be slurping down fewer jumbo-sized drinks. Last month, the city banned the sale of sugary drinks larger than 16 ounces in restaurants, movie theaters, and sports arenas. The ban goes into effect in March 2013. It just happened.
Oh my gosh, it
just happened. I wonder how they're reacting. It's part of Mayor Michael Bloomberg's push to fight rising obesity rates among New Yorkers. The law is the first of its kind in the U.S. The ban comes at a time when health experts and lawmakers are trying to address a nationwide obesity problem. About 1/3 of adults in the U.S. are obese. That's more than twice the rate of 30 years ago. Being overweight has been linked to serious problems, including heart diseases and diabetes. Many health experts say larger portions are partly to blame for the country's weight problems. And the first thing I noticed is we've talked about how a 5 uses emotional language. And I like how the author said many health experts. He didn't say yes, Adam. What did...
And don't one-bias pieces usually use facts to support, examples?
An unbiased piece?
Yeah.
An unbiased piece, yes, they do. Now, a biased piece can still use facts, just only facts that support their side. But very good. Now, go back to what you said. What could it have said? And it didn't. It said many instead of all. It said many instead of I. So it's sort of like, we've talked about perspective. It's sort of like the author of this article is just standing out away and saying, well, these people are saying, and then other people may say this. So he's using a language that is not taking a side. Does anybody know a word to give for when you don't take a side? Think about in war. What war term do you use? Jonah?
Neutral.
Neutral. Very good. Neutral. So I'm going to write up here one thing that an unbiased or a little biased piece will do is it will use neutral. And I want to give you a synonym for neutral. It's called objective. If you are objective, it's sort of like you're outside looking in and you're not really choosing. If you're taking a side, if you're biased, another word for that would be subjective. So they use neutral in objective language. All right, I want to keep growing portions. From French fries to hamburgers, fast food has gotten a lot bigger over the years. For example, hamburgers today are about 3 times bigger than they were when your grandparents were kids. Just turn and talk. What are you thinking right now?
Oh my gosh! I bet the hamburgers when our grandparents were
You could ask her. Yes. And how she's, what's that like? Okay, back to me. Malia.
They used an example, and then instead of just saying something, they backed it up.
Yes, they used an example right there. But the size of soft drinks has ballooned most of all. I like that word choice, ballooned, the way the author chose, instead of just saying grew or increased, ballooned, like you imagine blowing a balloon up. But the size of soft drinks has ballooned most of all. In 1955, the only size available at McDonald's was 7 ounces. As a comparison, most soft drink cans are 12 ounces. So back then, the drinks were like itty bitty.
What the heck?
Today, a large drink at McDonald's is 32 ounces. And some restaurant and theaters sell 64-ounce jumbo drinks.
What?
Oh, yeah, they do.
What?
I never even
That's-
went there.
I think I've only gotten one of those in my life, and it was when I was 5.
5?
I drink a water that big.
The result? Each day, Americans consume hundreds more calories and a lot more sugar than they did a few decades ago. At the same time, most people have been getting less exercise, so they're not burning off those extra calories. That combination has caused millions of Americans to become overweight. And I want to highlight here, because I like the way the author, too, like they kind of explained more calories plus, let's see, less exercise equals becoming overweight. So they really explained to me how sugary drinks lead to obesity and being overweight, why that might be unhealthy. Now, as a critical reader, I have noticed that so far in the text, I've only heard one side. Turn and talk. What side is that?
That they should. That they should.
Healthy
side.
I
Yeah, I kind of want to juicy hamburger.
Okay, back to me.
There's still a chance that it could go unbiased, though.
Carlos, which side of this debate right now have we heard most about? Would you say that we've heard mostly why there should be the ban on sugary drinks? Or are you hearing more arguments against the ban? More for why it should be. Yeah, you're right. So, Carlos, as a critical reader, what are you waiting for before you decide that this is a trustworthy piece of information, that it's not biased? We got one side. I like the way that Carlos takes his time when he thinks. Absolutely. Carlos, I really appreciate how you took your time to answer, because sometimes we feel like we have to answer it like that, and we don't. Readers are thinkers, and sometimes it takes us longer to think. He's absolutely right. We've got one side. We're still waiting to hear the other. So right now, I'm kind of leaning over towards here. Let's see. A positive step. In recent years, sugary drinks have been a main focus of efforts to fight obesity. Many school districts around the country have banned the sale of sugar-sweetened drinks. Some nutrition experts say New York City's supersized drink ban will help people make healthier choices. There's another reason. Some nutritionists, and that author is using that objective language, some say that it will help people make healthier choices. I'm waiting to see if they're going to give some more examples. People are not aware of how many calories they can consume by drinking beverages, says Alicia Calvo. She's a nutritionist from California. The ban could be a step in a positive direction, she says. It's helping educate people regarding portion sizes. Did you hear an example given in there? Did she explain how banning drinks will help people make better choices? No. I kind of felt like it wasn't as clear, but I kind of felt like where she said it's helping educate people, she sort of explained why, but what I would have liked is if she gave maybe a personal experience or something to give me a little more. What did you notice, Adam?
The author takes at least one opinion.
And which opinion is that?
It's the Alicia Calvo.
Ah, the Alicia Calvo. She's giving... Now is that the author though?
No.
When I look down here, I see the author's name is Natalie Smith. So what the author is actually doing, Adam, which is a good strategy. I'm glad you pointed that out. Alicia Calvo is like the experts. Have you guys ever watched commercials where they bring in the doctors and the doctors say, this toothpaste works best, or this is the best thing that you can use, or I've used this with my patients. But they bring in an expert because when we hear from experts, we believe them a little more.
I don't
So
they prove it.
But who says it's not Amanda's dressed up in a suit?
oh, Aiden, and see, you're being critical even watching commercials. That's Aiden said, who's to say that a man wearing a white coat is really a doctor? He's being critical when he's watching TV. You need to be critical when you're reading, too. And to say, well, is that just one nutritionist that said that? Or do all nutritionists say? Or do most nutritionists feel the same way? I like how you're thinking critically, Aiden. Falling flat. Not everyone agrees that banning large drinks is a good way to teach people healthy habits. Julie Feldman is one of them.
It's becoming non-biased.
I got my first opposite side. Not everyone agrees that that's the way to teach people to be healthy. I want to see if they give an example to support this one. Julie Feldman is one of them. There's again, she's a nutritionist, so we got
Other side.
and not just another side, but we got a professional on one side, and now we're getting a professional from the other. How cool. You know what? I didn't notice this the first time I read it. Julie Feldman is one of them. She's a nutritionist who works for the food and beverage industry. Feldman says it would be better to educate families about the types of food they should include versus talking about all the things they shouldn't include. So there's that example. Why does it not help? And she says, talk about what you can do, not about what you can't do. And you know what? I can kind of see what they're saying there, because does it help when your teacher says, don't write that way?
No.
No, because are they telling you how to write?
No.
No, so I think this side has a point too.
It's kind of like...
Saying, don't eat this, but what should I eat? And so I kind of see this side too. And I like how the author included that expert opinion from the other side. Other opponents of the soda ban say it takes away individual freedom. There's other side. How does it take away from individual freedom? They argue that consumers should be allowed to buy as much of a product as they want. Mayor Bloomberg, however, points out that the law has only large portions. The law bans only large portions. New Yorkers are still free to buy as many 16-ounce or 12-ounce drinks as they like.
What?
Do you see the structure of this? Do you see the structure of this paragraph here? How it starts off here, and we have other side, example, and then a counter argument from Mayor Bloomberg saying, no, it's not taking away freedom. Argument, example, counter argument. This is starting to feel much more like a one, because what's it doing? We need to add that. Malia? It's considering the other side. And I think we need to add, because it did one other thing that we've already kind of said. I just didn't write it down. I forgot. Jennifer?
It has like examples and details of this.
Uses examples and details for both sides. You guys are awesome, because you know what? You came up with the exact same points that my class did as well. So it lets me know that you guys are all right on track how to determine bias. Adam, what did you want to add?
That's also a Feldman solution, because it says that since they banned the 32-ounce one, they can buy as much.
We're going to get there, Adam. I'm glad that you are using our past learning experiences. Adam said, hey, I can tell the structure of this text, and it's part of what we need to do. We need to know the structure so we can find the main idea, so that we can analyze the bias or the unbiased in the article. So Adam, in guided reading, I'm going to show you how we're going to tie that in. So I'm glad you're picking up on that. All right, last one. I just want to read the last paragraph, and then I want you to turn and talk and tell me, what side is the author actually on? Because we know that that last paragraph sort of guides us a little. It gives us some insight into the author's point of view. So, everybody should perk up so I know that you're ready to listen. In the case of full sugar drinks, in moderation, it's fine, he explained on the Today Show. All we're trying to do is to explain to people that if you drink a little bit less, you will live longer. Turn and talk. What do you think the author's real opinion is?
He's on the other side.
What's the other side? When you say other side.
He's on the side that shouldn't ban soft drinks. Yeah, because he just says if you drink a little less. He's on the side that they.
Back to me. Zoe, what do you think?
He wants to ban.
He wants to ban them. He said,
Or she.
she. Actually, it is a she. Her name is Natalie Smith. I highlighted there, and I keep making that mistake. And women are writers, right? Natalie says, in moderation, it's fine. He explained on the Today Show, all we're trying to do is to explain to people that if you drink a little bit less, you will live longer.
Yeah,
but you disagree, Aiden?
Well, I'm not really disagreeing, but in gym, Miss Morris said that if you're overweight, then you need to lower your weight, but you don't want to go below your weight. So if you drink too many soft drinks, then you'll be over. But if you drink not as much, then your body weight might go down too far. So it's like you need them, not really, but like they're both for health reasons, I guess.
So what I hear you doing, Aiden, is you're making a cross-curricular connection, across curriculums. You know what you've learned, and physical education is you don't want to be too heavy, but you also don't want to be too skinny. You have to do everything, and that's where that key word, and I'm going to highlight it right there. That's what they mean. Oh, sorry. That's what they mean by moderation. It's right there in that last part, in moderation. So that's where I think they're saying a little bit less would still be moderating. So today in our guided reading, we're going to be practicing this, and we're going to be, only this time, in guided reading, I'm not going to tell you what I think it rates. I'm going to have you help me rate it based on the bias meter that we have collected. Now, a 3, and we'll fill that in tomorrow, but we know that a 3 in writing needs more details, has a lot of details, some details. Neutral language, emotional language, some neutral or some emotional. Considers the other side, doesn't consider the other side, sometimes considers. Doesn't use examples, uses lots of examples, uses some. That's where we find our 3 in a rubric. Remember that your assigned reading today, you need to collect from your guided reading bins. So witness, you need to pull from the top shelf. Look back behind my guided reading table so you know. And Bull Run from the second shelf.
Good.
And Etched in Clay from the third shelf. Now,